Nice wallpaper, Cherry.
Oh, I'm getting rid of that. You must see it up close. It is absolutely shocking. So you'll see we've already painted the other wall. Wallpaper, carpets. And what is it with men? You guys can't unpack boxes. What is that? Is that a universal rule? Can't unpack any boxes.
I think so, Cherry.
Oh, nightmare, I tell you.
He's good in other things.
He is. With these arms. If it wasn't for these arms, we wouldn't be married. All right. I just wanted to let our leaders group know that we are starting. Okay, it is 10 o'clock, so I am going to get us started. We're certainly on a bit of a time constraint here. I just want to see if Johan is with us. Make sure that we have everyone up. It's going to be a quick meeting today, but I believe that there's a couple of things that we need to go through. Get you guys all up to speed on everything that's happening and some of the wonderful developments we've had. So this morning we're going to have each of our departments. Just want to see, because the first one up is Johan. He's got a very crazy schedule today. So I just want to make sure that he knows we've started. Okay, let's give him a second. While we wait for him to jump on, all right, so the initiative that we're having a look at today, do you want to suppose so people can see you, right? The initiative that we've started today is we want to do these monthly leaders briefings with each department head. And I think the intention of these leaders briefing meetings is definitely we're not having a complaint session or a pity party or raising issues. This is an information session for you as leaders so that you can be abreast of what we're busy with in terms of management, corporate functions, and what our teams are doing at the moment. It's also to introduce you to the department heads on a personal basis so that you know who the department heads are. And I respectfully just ask that you remember each department has their own physical portfolio of what they deal with, and not to communicate with department heads individually. That is our internal management structure. So remember that when you have issues as a leader, your point of contact is always Clinton or myself. And we then within our management team have an internal communication structure that is working perfectly fine at the moment. So we try and streamline things as best we can. I just wanted to make sure that Johan is with us because I'm going to give him the floor first. Am I echoing?
No.
No? Okay. It seems I'm not echoing. Sorry, that could be then a problem on your side, Chang or Yang. I didn't see that, sorry. Okay, I see that Johan is on. So I don't need to introduce Johan Steinberg to you guys. You obviously know that Johan and Clinton own NTI 50-50, but within our structure, within our management structure in NTI, they each also run their own department. And I think that speaks a lot for the kind of company that they want to run. They want to be involved with our members. Johan's heart is 100% for the very last person that joins NTI. And as the head of our technical department, that is something that is the heartbeat of NTI as much as our members is. And he's doing a sterling job on the technical side. Since we've freed him up a little bit from all his public appearances, we've had so much productivity from him. His department is running smoothly, and we actually just are standing in awe of everything that he's been able to do and implement on a technical and programming side for Johan. So I'm going to ask Johan to unmute himself and just to give you guys a quick overview of more or less what he's been busy with the technical department. Johan, is jy daar?
Yes, ek is hier.
Here's all our leaders. They've been wanting to speak to you for a very long time, so we're not going to do any questions or anything for Johan today. I think just give us a little bit of an overview of what you've been busy with, where we're going, and some of the things that you're excited with within the technical department for MTI.
All right. Thank you, Cherie, for having me this morning. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've been on a meeting like this, but it's an absolute privilege being here. Yeah, on the technical side, we've been quite busy over the last couple of weeks. As all of you know, we moved into the crypto trading space, I think about 2 weeks ago. And that itself brought some challenges that we expected, but you know, it's you know, we are actually dealing or coping with it very, very nicely. One of the major issues on that was, you know, the amount of volume or liquidity that the crypto market has on a daily basis versus the Forex market. You know, it's literally two different industries. The Forex market, liquidity-wise, is a $6 trillion a day beast. With the crypto market, you know, it's only about 200 billion or something like that. So we faced some challenges there, but you know, we actually overcame many of the issues, and our trading bot on the crypto side is performing well, as expected. Our developers are busy tweaking, and hopefully we can get you know, the results even better. But you know, for the time being, I personally am very happy. As long as we make a profit, that's always good. And some other things on the technical side, we've implemented some the P2P withdrawals, P2P fund transfers to other members. There's a 7-day delay, simply because we found well, a small group of people that's really abusing the system. They have no intention of you know, using MTI as a vehicle to increase their Bitcoin, rather than defrauding other members and you know, manipulating the system. So on that front, myself and my team are extremely busy, putting even more systems in place to assist, well, to prevent things like this happening. Over the last 2 weeks, you know, I had quite a bit more time, and we've seen a lot of things happening, all for the good, you know, doing implementations and even making the system a lot better for all of us. On the security side, we have a whole team that's actively trying to break into our system, and you know, if they get anything like that, they will also assist us in fixing the issues. So from a security point of view, we are all sorted, and on the technical side, there's a couple of developments coming in the near future. Thank you, Cherie.
Sorry, I've just had to ask them to stop the banging so we can actually hear each other. Johan, I really do have to tell you that what we've had with you in terms of the technical department and the implementations that you've done from a back office perspective, obviously the limited live trading view has been fantastic. You and I chatted about that. In closing, do you just want to give us a brief update on that limited live trading view and what you see happening with that in the future? And I know you and I spoke about a bi-weekly update.
That's right. Yeah, we will have it every second week. We'll put it up in the back office. The last one that we have in was very short. It's only 3 minutes, simply because there's really nothing going on, well, more than that 3 minutes. On the crypto trading, as we can see, I think yesterday we had, I can't remember, 7 or 9 trades for the day. It's not as active as on our Forex trading. but hopefully we can get that sorted. So yeah, every second week we'll have live trades in the back office, anything between 3 and 5 minutes, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
Right, I do think that for everyone to understand, the intention of that live trading view is essentially to prove that we are trading, number one, and number two, to confirm our Bitcoin balance in the bottom left-hand bottom left-hand corner of the screen. That's right, right?
That is correct, yes.
Excellent. Anything else that you wanted to say? Because then we're going to let you go. I know you've got a million things to do. Anything else that you wanted to comment on management-wise?
No, I think that's basically all from my end. I just want to give a big thank you, Cherie, to you and the rest of the team. 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, we have not had anything close to, in structure-wise, what we have today. And it's making the workload for all of us involved just so much more bearable, and we can get more things done.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Interesting. So thank you so much, Johan. If you've got other things to do, you're welcome to jump into that and get it done. I think we've got the gist of it. I'll also be taking minutes of this meeting and sending out to all the leaders and international leaders. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to move on to our next big department. And I think this department has probably had the most growth and the most issues that needed to be sorted out. And running the support desk and member support is something that I certainly don't want to be involved in. I definitely don't have the patience or the expertise for it. But Romano Samuels, and let me just say, his presentation at our strategic conference in July was absolutely mind-blowing. And all the management team members that are here will agree with me. He's done an exceptional job of putting together a member support structure that is streamlined, it's clean, it's working effectively, and I feel like he never sleeps. So Romano, I'm gonna just quickly unmute you so you can give us a little bit of feedback of what's happening on the support front. I know you're busy with a lot of things, and you're as busy as Johan is, so we're also going to let you go first. Give us some feedback. How's it going in Stellenbosch offices?
Hi, Cherie. Thank you for allowing me to just talk to some of the members or some of the leaders. So we've been busy the last couple of weeks just setting up new structures in support. We've been focusing on a lot of training for support members, and we've also streamlined feedback to members. I think one of the things that we are very happy with is that since you guys started the leadership groups, the tickets that come in have slowed down, and we do appreciate that a lot. And I think that's a great job from the leaders side, just trying. As I'm reading the names on the screens now, I can see some of the leaders that are posting a lot of tickets for their members, and that helps us a lot. And what we've also done is we've kind of, in the past, a lot of emails were sent to us without structure, and it was just members not knowing what they were sending through. But since members speak to their upline first and they're the first line of support, we've been able to streamline that and actually send it to the correct departments and also answer those questions in quicker turnaround times. Like I can mention, when we started out with support, there was a backlog of over 1,000 tickets a day. And I mean, we're now down to all the new tickets that get sent into support on a day gets answered on that same day. The matter is not normally resolved, but they do get answers within that first 24 to 48 hours. So yeah, I'm happy to say that, yeah, we are getting the backlog sorted out. I think that's where we are in support.
Romano, I know that you guys have got a couple of new support staff members in, and I know you're working very closely with Charlie in a 12-week support training program. How's that going, and how do you feel about that?
Yes, yeah. So what we've done is we've actually set up a training manual, and we're busy working through it, making sure that all the support agents know exactly how the system that we're using operates, and then also how the MTI back office works. So we are implementing the training manual into modules. So we'll have tier 1s, tier 2s, and tier 3s. And then also we're breaking it up into two parts where you get training on the operating system Zendesk that we're using, and then also MTI separately, so that members within the support staff understands how everything works, just to streamline that process. And we're putting checklists in place so that there are tick boxes that they need to select before replying to members. So those are all things that we're implementing from our side to make sure that the support staff know exactly what they're doing and how they're answering tickets. Because I think the worst thing to do is reply on something that the member did not ask, or just sending out a generic email. So we're definitely addressing that.
Fantastic. And then lastly, because I know you're also crazy busy, I know that you guys are making some changes to the Stellenbosch office. How's that going?
Yes, so I think Charles was here a week ago and he looked at the Stellenbosch office. And what we're doing now is we're kind of personalizing it a bit more, trying to add in a bit more of the logos in the Stellenbosch office, and also trying to get some of the feel of the surrounding areas into the office as well, to make it a bit more personal. And also when members walk into the Stellenbosch office, they will actually be able to see the journey that we've gone through as MTI, and also get the feel of the Stellenbosch office, because we had members drive all the way from, I mean, places like Gansbaai and all the surrounding areas to come through to look at the offices. And we want to give them that impression that we're here to stay and that we, yeah.
Excellent. That's really good. All right. Anything else that you wanted to share with us? Are you happy with everything at support? You're happy with the leadership? Everything's going well?
Yes, no, I'm very happy, and I must say I'm just so impressed with the leaders, and also taking that responsibility to assist their members before they start launching tickets. Because I can say that since I started, the amount of tickets that came in was it's gone down, and you can definitely see that members are getting support from the leaders, and I appreciate that.
And then very lastly, I know you guys had a massive day on the 25th of August. It's something that we actually included in the newsletter.
Yes.
And do you want to elaborate on that a little bit, and then we'll end off?
Yes, so what happened is, I think it was the day that the statements came in late. We received over 1,900 tickets within 24 hours, and we've managed to reply on all that 1,900 tickets within that 24 hours. And I mean, yeah, that was just amazing. All the support agents worked from the morning since it started, because it started working at, the tickets started coming in at 12 o'clock, and it came all the way through till 5 the next day. So, I mean, agents were replying from 2 o'clock in the morning till about 2 o'clock the next morning to tickets. We actually worked in shifts on that specific day to get the tickets out, because having tickets open from the previous day just makes the next day a bit more difficult.
Absolutely. All right, Romano. I just want to... Yes.
Sherry, can I ask a quick question to Romano?
Who is speaking?
Carl here.
Who?
It's Carl.
Oh, Carl, yes.
Carl from, I just want to check, is it okay to pop in at the head office and just say hello and just meet, or are we going to interrupt their work? I'm in Somerset West, so I'd love to go and just say hello.
Yes, so what we have decided from a management side is that members are more than welcome to come into the office to speak to the staff at the office, but if they want to speak to me directly, we'll just have to schedule a meeting via support. So if you log a ticket with support, I can see when I'm available, and then obviously I can set a meeting with you if you want to have specific topics that you want to discuss. But otherwise, you're more than welcome to pop into the office and say hi to the support agents.
Thank you. Definitely don't want to bother. Just say, you know, handshake is always so nice.
Yeah, all good.
Excellent. All right. Excellent, Romano. Thank you so very much. And I just want to tell you from a communications, and I think Clinton, even as a shareholder and a head of department, Romano is doing a phenomenal job. There is nobody better. And I don't want your job. I know it's tough, but you are doing an unbelievable job. And we as leaders just also want to thank you for everything that you do for us. Thanks, Romano.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. See you guys. Cheers. Bye.
Excellent. All right, we're going to move on to the referral program with Clinton. Clinton, I know that you, obviously your portfolio is a little bit busy, but do you want to give us a little bit of feedback on what's been happening with the referral program, the thought process behind the new ranking system, and what you see happening in the future in terms of compensation plan, that kind of stuff? Do you want to elaborate a bit?
Hi everyone. It's been relatively busy the last couple of weeks, even with the move, been doing quite a bit of damage control, but I must say the damage control is it's a lot better now. There's a lot less negative articles out, which I'm happy to say. And then also I've managed to establish a Durban office in Durban North, just trying to keep the success recipe the same as the one in Joburg. So I'm happy to say it's on the main road. Very spacious offices with like restaurants and coffee shops. So we're quite excited to get going there. It's also very relaxed here. We have a nice sea view, so we're very excited about that. But going on forward with the referral program, I've got some ideas. I'm working with key individuals. I've noted that the guys that I'm working with want to work with me. I'm not running after people anymore. And I've got a set program which I'll be working with them, not only in Durban, but all across the country. And that seems to be going quite well. I'll only be really back in the office on Monday, and I look forward to continue to grow the business.
I can also give you a little bit of feedback. As you can see, Clinton is a man of few words. I've been helping him with a success guide that we will be publishing and printing out for all members. So you will be able to take the success guide, print it for your members, send it to them in a PDF format. I'll show you a little bit of a brief on what that looks like towards the end of this meeting today. But it's all about providing people with the information that they need to really work in the referral program. The new ranking system, there's definitely been an overwhelming excitement about it, but also a little bit of underwhelmment, I think, because there's no incentives that are being brought into the rank program. It's basically just a name. I know that there was some questions regarding the names that were chosen, and Clinton and I actually discussed it at length. And between our management team, the bull logo is something that we're never going to get rid of. It's something that's specific to the Bitcoin and trading market. It's something that in that industry has a very positive intonation and narrative. So those words and names are not going to be changing. And we have a very small community of people that are really turning it into something that it doesn't have to be. We're sticking to our guns. We're moving forward. The programming is being done. And it's really just a measuring stick. It's just a yardstick for some die-hard networkers that want to work to the following rank.
Recognition.
And recognition. So we will work in a recognition program of some form. I think Clinton is busy with that as we speak. And I think then also what you want to do is maybe just give people a little bit of feedback on how you've been handling member issues, cross-recruiting, not sticking to the guidelines in terms of the terms and conditions. What is your procedure with that, and what have you been dealing with?
Look, I try to have a bit of a softer approach, because a lot of the time the members don't actually understand the rules and regulations. So I personally just give them a call. 90% of the time it gets sorted, but with various other things like cycling money and things like that, we have a more of a aggressive approach. I've been working quite well with Leonard Gray. He sends them a warning letter, and if they still don't listen, they get a letter of demand, and that seems to be quite effective. We haven't had anyone that's really stepped out the boundaries, and I think that's another reason why the how can I say, the negative publicity is decreasing, because people are realizing now we've got a proper corporate structure and we won't take nonsense. So I'm quite happy with that.
All right, I really think that's been a good job. So
Yeah.
I know that you've been a little bit out of the loop with the move, but again, having you being part of these calls and helping our leaders understand is definitely something that everybody needs. All right, we're going to move on to our legal department with Leonard Gray. Leonard, are you there?
Yes, hello, how are you?
Fine, and you? So our leaders haven't met you. They don't know who you are. Leonard has been doing an unbelievable amount of work behind the scenes. And as I introduce him, let me just tell you that that video that I had done on my YouTube channel that a lot of you have seen regarding the Consumer Protection Act and how MTI falls into the ambit of those regulations, Leonard is the attorney that wrote that opinion for me. His strength in terms of public international law and interpretation of law is unbelievable. And that's what we need in MTI. We need somebody who is going to be pedantic about paperwork, And we're going to need somebody in MTI that thinks out the box. And Leonard, being a very alternative personality, is exactly what we need for that job. He's done phenomenally well and served as the backbone for many of our departments to do what needs to be done. So Leonard, do you want to maybe just elaborate a little bit on what you see your role in the company as being, what you see the future of MTI as being, and just very shortly what you've been busy with regards to our management team?
Okay, thank you for your time and thank you for the compliments, I must say. I must say that my role in the MTI is to make sure that external and internal threats to the company are dealt with quickly and efficiently. As Clinton has said, external threats have been dealt with, and we're getting good publicity. But now Johan was referring to internal threats, i.e., people trying to defraud the P2P MTR system. That's what we're dealing with at the moment. So my job is to make sure that we deal with it quickly so that it doesn't turn into a problem. So, you know, I'm basically a person in a high tower that's looking and seeing where the threats are and dealing with it as quickly as possible, so that all members know that their Bitcoin is safe and that the system is running efficiently. I'm currently dealing with agreements within the MTR structure. We're finalizing a representative agreement with Monica, which will enable members to develop their own teams, but that information will be obviously publicized by yourself, Sherry. Other than that, I'm dealing with the threat that Johan was talking about, being the P2P situation, and I'm also working hand in hand with Romana with regards to that, where people are trying to defraud the MTR bonus structure. But yeah, we will. That's basically what I'm dealing with at the moment. But everything's in good hands. We're on the ball, and yeah, everything's under control.
And Leonard, you're also busy having a look at our terms and conditions and relevant statutory laws within South Africa that pertaining to MTI and how we can better fit our mold for those regulations, right?
Yes, the MTR terms and conditions do need updating because we do need to protect our members, and we also need to protect the MTR company itself. So we need to. I'm looking through that. I'm going through it with a fine-tooth comb. It's quite a process, but it needs to be done so that we are completely secure legally, and that also members' interests are protected, which is obviously our first and foremost intention, to make sure that members are secure. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
And Leonard, let me just say your inputs into the newsletter this month was really unprecedented. It was amazing. Where do you see MTI fitting into regulations, maybe not just necessarily abroad, but especially here in South Africa, because that's our operating space? I know that you wrote a sterling opinion on that. Where do you think we fit in, and how safe do you think we are legally in South Africa currently?
Well, legally, as we speak, there is no legislation pertaining to cryptocurrency in South Africa. But the powers that be are developing legislation. But we are the leaders in holding cryptocurrency, so we should be the pioneers in developing certain regulation and the development of legislation, and we should have an input in that. And we should actually start molding the relevant regulatory body that will oversee the cryptocurrency landscape. At the moment, there's a whole lot of confusion. No one knows which body is in charge of what. But at the moment, we are growing so significantly that we are going to be the leaders in this field, and we're actually going to probably start changing the law ourselves. So we are constantly monitoring the situation, monitoring developments in legislation, monitoring regulatory developments, and we will be having our inputs as soon as any developments occur. But at the moment, we are 100% legal. We're trading cryptocurrency. We are above board. There's no legislation which prevents us from doing so, and we carry on as usual.
All right. Leonard, again, just let me say, I know the support that you've been to every single department. I know that Monica for Corporate Services will probably elaborate on that a bit as well. But it has been absolutely amazing to have our own in-house legal department that can then obviously help us with giving instruction to Ulrich and Associates as and when we need their services. And you obviously working with them and with me and with Clinton and our management team has been such an invaluable contribution. Thank you so very, very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to our next head of department. That's Vincent Ward. Vincent Ward oversees our international development program, and he's been working tirelessly to help us with the harvesting of resources and making sure that our international market is taken care of. He also, to me, is sort of the epitome of leadership in this industry. It's a very difficult thing to deal with international markets because of the fact that it's so completely different. Communications need to be streamlined for each market. You can't have a one-size-fits-all, and he's done a fantastic job of doing that. Vince, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. Do you want to give us a little bit of an overview of what you've been busy with and where you're at?
Yeah, sure. Good day, everyone. So awesome to be here. I think it is very evident that since the implementation of the corporate structure, a couple months back, since our StratCon meeting in Johannesburg, there's been a significant improvement in terms of streamlining communication internationally, making sure that members know that they have a voice and that our international market is obviously important to us. It's with no doubt that the international market will definitely subsequently make up a bulk of our membership moving forward. If we look at the growth internationally, it's just absolutely been phenomenal. So yeah, just regarding my department, I think we actually discussed this a week or so ago with a couple key individuals at a board level, and we definitely see my position as a developing position. We first came out as a point of contact, and what we actually noticed happened is that I don't think we elaborated too much on the position itself, and I started getting an influx of issues, pertaining to not really that's within my department, but more of a support basis. So I have been working extremely close with Romano, and I must just commend the guys at support for the work that they've done to evolve and to keep up with the growth that MTI is currently achieving. But I know moving forward, there will be a clearer indication as to what sort of responsibilities I will oversee. Right now, currently, I think it's leaning more towards a development side of the international business, making sure that we are aware of regulations abroad, different cultural beliefs, translations, obviously time zones. I know that a couple of the leaders from the international sphere couldn't be here right now because it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. But I'm working very closely with Charlie, obviously Romano, Sherry, and Clinton. And we will always focus on making sure that our international business and our international members are well looked after. I think a prime example would be, this was actually a few months ago, we had an issue regarding Sharia law, and we managed to actually get that resolved literally overnight to make sure that we cater not just for every member, but for every culture that's out there. And from a business development point of view, I'm definitely going to be focusing a lot more on harvesting information from our international leaders. I mean, I look at some of the leaders that we currently have internationally, and it's just absolutely phenomenal to see the experience that we aligned ourselves with. So that's very exciting. And I must just commend the international guys. Our point of contact, I'm referring to our leader WhatsApp group, has been just such a breath of fresh air, such positivity, valid questions, and definitely guys just taking the initiative to get on with growing MTI in a responsible manner. So yes, the future looks great for international. I think main focus will be harvesting of information, training material in different languages, and those will obviously be made available to MTI on a whole.
Vince, thank you so much. I must tell you that obviously you and I have been heading up communications and marketing together. And if it wasn't for you, there would have been no newsletter this month. And putting our communications onto the Telegram groups, I think quickly is fantastic. So it's definitely been a huge help to me to have you there. I think you've done a phenomenal job, and I would love to see how this international development position grows, because I do believe in your ethos and what you're saying. We need to have an inclusive company that really tries to speak to as many people as we can. And I love that you're taking care of our international market. It's fantastic. Anything else that
Only
you
a pleasure.
want to say in closing?
No, I just wanted to keep mine short and brief. I think we definitely on the right path in terms of international business, and it will just keep improving. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Vince. All right, and next up, we've got probably the busiest lady in Mirror Trading International, and no, it's not me. Her name is Monica Kutsia, and I remember making a call to Monica when we were looking for somebody to handle a couple of administrative things at board level. And I said to her, yeah, I don't think it's going to keep you that busy. Well, I obviously lied, because she is so difficult to get a hold of. She is very, very busy. I just want to see if she's even on this call. Monica, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, and you?
Well, thank you. So you are the engine of this MTI car. I don't know what we would do without you. Monica is the head of corporate services. She was actually firstly just voted in as a non-executive board member because of her experience in the corporate space. She's worked in the legal fraternity. She is the most pedantic person on the planet, without a doubt. Her attention to detail is unbelievable, and we need, especially me, us creatives, we need somebody like Monica just to pull us in line. But she's also been busy with structures that I think would impress you as leaders in a massive kind of way, on regulation, structures, implementations, auditing, tax, and all that kind of stuff for MTI. So Monica, I'm going to hand over to you just to give our leaders a little bit of an overview of what you've been doing on the corporate front with MTI and its different departments.
Okay, so thank you, Cherie, for the opportunity. Good morning and evening and afternoon to all our leaders across the world who's joining us. Thanks for your time. Yes, so from a corporate services kind of stand, it's actually not the part that you see too often when you deal with a company, because you're more on the calls with each other, and you're on calls with your teams. But in the background, the company still needs to function, and it actually needs to operate and also be in line with all the regulations within South Africa. So I do have our in-house attorney, Leonard Gray, who's assisting me in making sure that legally all our documents are correct and in place. And then we have obviously a wonderful lady who's helping me with regards to the accounting processes that we've got in place. We're making sure that all of that is brought into line, absolutely head on compliant with everything. Obviously the South African regulations on a public a PTY private company is in fact quite strenuous, so we are making sure that we've ticked all those boxes. Everything is in place on that matter. We've got all the corporate governance documents in place. We've got all the accounting in place. We've got the audit that is due to happen within the next short while, probably a month or two. And then the rest of the other things is pretty much my HR work, working with our the teams that we work with in-house, as in, if you want to call it, employees, and third-party service level agreements and things like that for people who also need to work with us. So we're making sure that everything is in place, everything is nicely structured, and that if anybody was to walk in at any time, that we'd have all the documents ready that they would need to see.
Monica, I know that you've also been working very hard at getting that audit. A lot of people have been asking about it. I don't know if I can put you on the spot and ask you, does an audit get made public? So once we get the results of our company audit information, does that get verified or made public?
No, in fact, it does not get made public. We're not a public company. We are a private company. So yes, in terms of law, a PTY limited company within South Africa has to be audited. And we do have auditors on board. We do have a full bookkeeping system in place. Everything is being done exactly according to the books. We have month ends, we have salary runs, we have management accounts. All of these things are in place, but the actual audit report or the actual financial statements do not need to be released in a public forum. The fact that we are audited and the fact that we are complying with the regulations with regards to an audit is pretty much all we need to give to the members. So a financial statement as such would not be made public. There's no need for that. And then the obviously all the regulations with requiring the keeping of those documents, the recordal of those types of documents, all of that is in place. So just like any other PTY limited company in South Africa, we're doing exactly the same thing, complying with exactly the same regulations, and all of those things are in place.
All right, and then finally, Monica, I just wanted to ask you, I think that's important because us as leaders, we need to communicate that to our teams. And then finally, I think maybe just give us a little bit of feedback on how you're experiencing the MTI board and the management. What has your experience been with the people that you're working with?
Oh, wow. This is quite possibly the most dynamic board and group of people I've ever had the honor of working with. Truly, each one of these people are dedicated to the level that you absolutely cannot imagine. You know, you can pick up the phone and speak to any one of them at any time of the day or night and know they're there. If you walk into something and it's like, oh my, what just happened? And you say, I need to speak to Clinton. I know I can pick up the phone and phone Clinton and say, Clinton, this is happening. Can you help? Can you do something? And Clinton will say, I'm on it. You know, it's just the most dynamic group of people. We all have the same heart. We all believe in the CEO's dream, Johan Steinberg's dream, and we are aligned in a way that I've never experienced in any corporate or other environment that I've worked in for the last 26 years. It's truly an honor.
Thank you, Monica. I really appreciate that. And again, also just wanted to thank you. I know you've been crazy busy and it's meant everything to us. It really has meant everything. Thank you.
Huge pleasure. Right. Thanks, guys.
So from a communications and marketing perspective, you guys are pretty much in line with what we've done. I work very closely with every single department. It is quite a harrowing task because internal communications is something that takes a lot of energy. Obviously, I need to connect with every single department, make sure that all those communication channels are open. And one of those things is obviously also making sure that Johan gets enough public profile and time with our members, but also to manage that interaction so that it is positive and uplifting. And I know that there's a couple of people that don't necessarily maybe like the style of, I know there were a couple of people that weren't happy with the style that was done with the Q&A with Joel Santiago last month. But I want to just show and reiterate that if you look at this management team, our main motto is alignment to Johan's vision, which is all about inclusion. And we want to include, and that's why we did this leadership call, our international leaders and our South African top earners all in one call, because we are one body, we are one group. And that means that we are going to have American presentations, you guys. We are going to have guys from India come onto our calls. We are an inclusive company that really has to speak to everybody and not just to an elite group of individuals. It's for the little man on the street, and that means every little man in the country. So for us, that's been in the world, actually. that's been something that I've been struggling with, trying to get that message to be a global message, not so much a South African message. It's something that I think we're still working on. In terms of communications, when our website is down or when there's an issue that arises from external media, I think we've done a relatively good job with that. We obviously had the Addis here interview, which I won't lie, was absolutely harrowing. I wanted to just die. Clinton will tell you that before that interview, they sent me the questions and I had time to prepare those, but when they actually asked the questions, they were completely different. So it's quite obvious to me that media internationally and in South Africa have it in for companies such as MTI. I think we question the status quo. I think we are disrupting the norm and people aren't comfortable with that. And I am in no position to apologize for MTI's success. I'm also not apologizing for the fact that we are serving our members successfully. And we are going to take a little bit more of a proactive stance in the media now that we sorted our internal communications out. So we have commissioned a public relations company. They are literally costing us $25,000 a month. They are excellent at what they do. They specialize in the crypto space in online publications. In fact, I'm going to put their marketing deck on our leadership groups so you guys can have a look at it. So you can look forward to a lot of content, not just from our internal marketing and communications department, but also from external third-party industries that are really going to be pushing MTI on massive online publications like CoinDesk, Forbes, Financial Weekly. I actually edited an article this morning that's probably going to be published in the next day or two. You would have seen that our Instagram account was cleaned up and social media profiles are popping up pretty much everywhere. What we want to do as leaders, and where I need your help, is to help me to clean up our social media image, guys. So having the words Mirror Trading International or MTI in a Facebook page name or on a domain is really making it difficult for us to clean up our brand externally. So you as leaders, I want you to know that you are mandated. You are mandated as a leader. If you see somebody that is posting something that you know is not in line with our corporate brand externally, I want you to feel comfortable to go to that member and say, hey guys, if you wouldn't mind, please will you change this? Please will you do this? We are trying to clean up our corporate and social media pages. And I think that would go a long way to helping me, because me and my department, we're only a couple of people and we can't always get to everything. So if you can help with that, that would be fantastic. I want to just make sure that this message is never a draconian, you will change this or else. It is a message of, hey, let's work with the company. And you'll find that members are actually very keen to change what needs to be changed. So if you guys can help me with that, that would be fantastic. Our PR company has already launched our Instagram account. If you haven't gone and followed the Instagram account, please do it. It's going to give you a very good idea of what brand we're going on working forward. Obviously, there's a look feel that we want to work around and something that's going to work in a professional online space. You're also going to be seeing good video and resource structures coming from MTI on training topics and resources that are beneficial to members. Those will be professionally edited. Those are going to be from me. Some of them are going to be generic from international members. But at the end of the day, we will have a full center of resources that doesn't just service our South African market, but also our international market. And I'm quite excited to see this roll out. The positive articles about MTI have also been doing exceptionally well. It's helped us to rank our pages, our corporate pages. Those have been fantastic. And then the other thing that I want to just touch on in terms of communications, if you're seeing negative press about MTI, let me just say that all of them stem from one of three incidents. The first one is the Texas State Securities Regulator, which I'm going to go through with you guys at the end of this call for those of you that want to hear it. We're going to go through the FSCA and we're going to go through FX Choice. Those are the only three sources of negative press that MTI has really had in this industry and in external media. And you'll see that what happens is one of them puts out a press release, somebody does an article, and then everybody regurgitates that information. It's no new news. There is no new news. There's nothing that's new on the front of those three bodies. So I want to implore leaders, please don't send these on. Please don't send them to me or to Vince or to anything like that. We are aware of it. You know what the company's position are on those issues. And literally, like I said, we're not doing the Bambi thing. You see negative reports about MTI, it is your job as a leader to nip it in the bud. This is all news, we're moving on. Did you get your trading profit yesterday? Yes, you did. Let's go. Okay, so let's remain focused, let's remain aligned. I think that's the most important thing for communications, especially from us from a leader's perspective. One pages, we will work on those as well. And we're also working on organizing the MTR portal. I can actually at some point, I'll put it onto our leaders groups as well. I'll show you what communications and marketing have been busy with. We've been doing lots of work behind the scenes. Yes, we did the website upgrade, but also dealing with communications with our attorneys, with legal matters at hand. And then just to close off on those, the position that we're in with the Technical Securities Regulator is that they're a bit of a toothless dog at this point. It is very clear that that cease and desist that they had sent out, sending it to the media first before sending it to us, to me shows that it's definitely a smear campaign. We have actually now come to the conclusion that it was initiated from South Africa by some opposing company leaders. So that is not something that actually has any clout. The 3 members in question on that cease and desist order are not even based in Texas. They were definitely randomly selected, which is not fair towards them. I looked at their website, our legal department looked at their website, so did support and management. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the website in question. It clearly stipulated it was an independent member site, clearly stipulated the disclaimer, all the information on it was factually correct. So I think these 3 guys, it really is very sad that they've been publicly shamed, and even by some leaders, you know, saying, oh, they must be kicked out of MTR. They didn't do anything wrong. They were randomly selected and then publicly vilified by the Texas State Securities Regulator, which obviously has no idea what MTR does. So in terms of the Texas State Securities Regulator, we do have an SEC defense attorney in Texas that is busy dealing with that issue, but we are not giving it attention that it's warranted with. Let me just quickly mute that. All right. As for the FSCA in South Africa, they have connected with... Okay, you guys, I need you please to just mute yourselves if you wouldn't mind. With regards to the FSCA, we also see that matter as basically resolved. Our last communications with them was, we are no longer trading Forex, we're in the crypto space, so we fall outside of the ambit of your regulation. So thank you very much, it's been good, we're moving on. And they haven't actually furnished us with any further communications or questions or anything like that. I found it very interesting in their interview that they did not deal with the fact that they saw live trades. So I saw Johan Steinberg open his laptop and show every single investigator. In fact, Gerard van Deventer, the lead investigator at the FSCA, came and stood behind Johan. I was sitting to his right, and he looked at the screen with live trades with our live Bitcoin balance in the bottom left-hand corner. I was physically there, I saw that. He then called in an investigator that apparently has a better understanding of CFDs and crypto trading, and he came and looked at it as well. I think this process may have been 2 minutes if it was that long. It was very evident they had no idea what they were looking for. And I think their frustration is that they've got pressure, again, from the same parties that initiated the TSSB process to take some sort of action against MTR. The problem is there's no action to be taken because we haven't done anything wrong. So at the end of the day, I don't think the FSCA is any more of an issue than it needs to be. We fall outside of their regulations. And if there ever becomes any kind of regulation, like Leonard had said earlier on, we will deal with it and then we will comply. But until such time, we are focused on servicing our members. We don't care what the FSCA says. It's also interesting to know that they took the report off of their live page. It was archived, so you have to actually now go and look for it, which to me shows a little bit of a retraction on their side, not as much as it could have been, but it's good. For us, it was a small victory. The FSCA is not a problem. Lots of people ask, can they close us down? No, they can't. Okay, so just so we get that clear to everybody. And then finally, FX Choice. FX Choice obviously are very annoyed with the fact that we've moved our portfolio to a different trader. And the biggest issue there is that we actually moved to our new trader at the end of July. So the reports that says they froze our account on the 10th of June are a blatant lie. I physically saw the transaction ID of 11,000 Bitcoin being moved from FX Choice to our new broker, and our Bitcoin balance with our new broker is well in excess of 16,000 Bitcoin. So I'm 100% happy with that process. FX Choice obviously is not very happy with that process, and their way with dealing with it is putting out all these false allegations from representatives of FX Choice in the media. And we only perpetuate that when we feed into it. So let's just take a step back, let them say what they want to say. Our PR company will handle the rest. As for our, let me just get what I was going to go through. I think that was it. The TSSB, FSCA, and FX Choice. I think that was it. All right, lots of people are asking about a 7-day trade. You guys, Johan and the bot development team are still testing our bots over markets. Having seen Johan's explanation regarding the bot and the size of the market in a crypto space, I think you can understand that the weekend markets are not quite conducive for us to be trading just yet. But when we are happy with that, we can go over to a 7-day trading week. Okay, it's not the end of the world. We can get that sorted, and I'll keep you guys updated on how that process goes. Up until now, please just help me to communicate to members, because if I get that message again, I'm probably going to cry. All right, so I think that's it from communications and marketing. If there's any other questions you have, you are more than welcome to type them into the comment section and we can go through them. Oh, Vincent, saying that there's a problem with the members portal access in Ghana. All right, we'll have a look at that for you. Not a problem, Vincent. I'll have a look at that for you. All right, then we're going to end off this call today. Before we do a Q&A, if there's anybody that wants to ask questions, I want to introduce you guys formally to Charlie Ward. You've seen him on the groups. Marina says, it was said earlier that we will be back on Forex within a month. That's what I actually needed to discuss. We are in the process of working to get a Cat 2 license. But what I need to make very, very clear here is that once we have spoken with the FSCA, and even Johan Kruger helped me a little bit with this, they have zero intention of helping MTI succeed in South Africa in a regulatory space. I just want everybody to know that. So don't think that the FSCA are our friends. This was a massive fishing expedition, and Leonard can explain it to you guys as well. They have zero intention of helping the average person on the street. It is very clear to me that their intention is to line their own pockets and to support the government. That's essentially what they want to do. So even if we do get a Cat 2 license, we'll still have to fall within their regulations in some way or form. And the Collective Schemes Act is something that we're going to have to look at. So for us to get back into Forex, it's definitely not going to be a month. It's going to take a little bit longer than that, I'm sure. And even at that point, I think we'll have to go and look and see, is it worth it to put that kind of effort and time and energy into getting back into the Forex space when the crypto market is doing perfectly fine and it leaves us out of the ambit of what they can do to us. So that is something that we'll be weighing up from a management perspective. The trades, however, have been good. They've been good enough. Our members are growing their Bitcoin. Management is working the way that it should. So Forex is definitely on the back burner for now. And for us to be moving into crypto space is safe and it's the right thing to do legally. So we're going to be sticking to that until we have leeway. In terms of the Cat 2 license, our biggest problem with that issue has been as soon as we get somebody with a Cat 2 license, they are now in jeopardy of having their license removed by the FSCA because of their affiliation with MTI. So that's something that we're going to have to try and work around. We don't want to be the reason for anybody losing their Cat 2 license. There are probably only 9 issued in South Africa currently. So we're going to have to work around that and see that we make sure that that person that we connect with, and we do have somebody that we're seriously talking to, we need to make sure that they're protected as well. It is not our intention to drag anybody into our drama while we get ourselves regulated, which might even be impossible. Okay, so just on that point, wanted to clear that up. All right, so what I want to do next, just to end off this call, I didn't want to go over an hour today, was to introduce you to Charlie Ward. Charlie was initially a non-executive director for MTI from his corporate experience in helping companies such as Dis-Chem get regulated in the pharmaceutical industry. He was with Dis-Chem for 13 years. He's got unbelievable experience from a corporate perspective. And he was also one of our top recruiters for MTI, recruiting over R1 million worth of business into his team in less than a week. And he understands MTI, he understands corporate, and he is exactly what we need in terms of operations to make sure that everything runs the way that it should. And what he's also really good at is keeping every single department. Sorry, you guys, we're on a call here. Oh, not good. And at the end of the day, Charles has done an exceptional job of making sure that all our KPIs are met in each department. So essentially, Charles is my boss, but he's doing an unbelievable job of keeping everyone in line and making sure that targets are being met. I know that he's been giving me and Romano a very hard time about making sure all our deadlines are met, and then making sure that all the subs are taken care of, and he's done a phenomenal job. So Charles, I don't know if you are here.
I am.
Fantastic. Just wanted to thank you for everything that you've done for MTI. This machine literally cannot run without you. I don't know if you just want to give us a little bit of feedback on what you've been busy with, what you see in the future, and if there's anything else you wanted to share with us.
Well, firstly, I'd like to thank everyone for making the time to be on this call. I think if I have to go through every single detail that we're currently busy with, we'll be here the whole day. But I'd just like to reiterate that there's countless of hours being put into place in each department to ensure that we can firstly sustain the growth that we've experienced. Yesterday, we had a call with all the Tier 3 support members, and it was interesting to see their point of view of when support was established, what was kind of the growth expectancy, and how we've exceeded that. So when the corporate structure firstly got implemented, it was very much on a nurturing basis to kind of catch up to the growth that we've experienced from a member's point of view. And I'm confident in saying that we kind of out of that nurturing process, and we in more of a proactive front at this stage. The structures that are being put in place, it's a process that we have to go through. We're still very much building a foundation within each department. And there's been a lot of personal growth from everyone that's been involved. I think with looking at the structures, and especially the heads of departments, a lot of the times the hard work that's being put in isn't very evident to the leaders and the members. But when that becomes very evident is when we dealing with certain issues that might arise. I think a prime example was the FSCA issue that was brought to light. I would like to amend communications and how that was dealt with. That was a foresight from our side to have those structures in place to deal with those kind of issues that might arise, and for to have a minimum effect on the daily operations of the business, how it affects our members. So that was a prime example of MTI being proactive. From a CEO point of view, what we've basically done is just to ensure that we streamline and funnel the process of what information gets filtered through to our CEO. It was kind of like a blank canvas before, where everything was just put on there and Johan had to deal with it. And it's very counterproductive. So we've identified the strengths within each person, make sure that we leverage on that. And then when we see weaknesses within the department or with anyone that's within the corporate structure, is to alleviate that by making sure we've got the right people doing the right thing at the right time. So from making it a little bit more relevant to the leaders and how they experiencing it is, I would just like to reiterate, and it's something that we discussed at length to our visit down to Cape Town, meeting the support, is that there's a priority list, and those priorities get escalated as the need arises. So a lot of the times leaders would raise a query, or they'll maybe raise a concern, and then they feel that that concern is not being taken up seriously. The reason they might feel that way is because where it falls within the priority list. So as we work through those priorities, whatever you brought to light, I can assure you will be addressed, but it all needs to form and fall into the process that we currently trying to adhere to just ensure that the fundamentals are firstly met, and secondly, to just make sure that we maintain that growth that we're currently experiencing. We're sitting on over 160,000 members. It's scary to think that in March we were sitting on just over 25,000. you can imagine the strain that that will put on something like a support department, how the influx information towards communication has increased. So from that point of view, I'd just like to say to the leaders, just be aware of that and do not feel that your opinion doesn't matter or it's not being taken up. It definitely is. We're just streamlining that process. And then from a personal point of view, I'm personally not a multi-level marketer. It's something that I've embraced, the challenge, and it's something that I started enjoying. But every single person that spoke on this call today were leaders at some stage. I can say in my own personal capacity that my function as a leader has somewhat stalled. My function as dealing with prospects and building my personal interest in MTR from a leader's point of view has come somewhat to a halt. And I'd just like to make the leaders aware of that sacrifice that each individual that forms part of corporate is making. And the reason for that is to ensure that there's sustainability and that we're servicing yourselves and your members at the highest level. So there's a strong unity in corporate because we all have understanding of that. And the vision that Johan's put forth, we're all in agreement. It's embedded in us. And we'd like the leaders just to, at times, take that in consideration when certain things arise, that there's massive sacrifice being made by these individuals for not just from a financial point of view, but in a personal point of view as well, to sustain and service the leaders and the members on a daily basis. So yeah, that's basically the short and long of it. Everyone's input is always welcomed. Everyone's input as a leader is exceptionally valuable to us, from the person that's invested $100 to the top earner in the company. Everyone's opinions taken in consideration, because we all believe that the culture is being established, that MTR looks at sustainability and our social responsibility within the industry that we're operating in. So yeah, from my point of view, I'd just like to thank every single person that forms part of corporate for the countless hours. I don't think you get enough credit. That's about it from me, Cherie.
Thank you very much, Charlie. I know that you work crazy long hours, sort of the integral part of our management team, and the support that you've been to Johan and to Clinton has been insurmountable. Thank you so much for all of that. All right, you guys, we're going to call this meeting then to an end. You've heard from every single department head what they're busy with, what they're doing with, and what our intentions are going on forward. And I think that having these calls on a monthly basis would better equip you guys to deal with members. And I just wanted to also commend you. Like, we can see the strength of our leadership team because we can actually measure it by the amount of tickets that we are getting from our support staff. And you heard it from the horse's mouth. Romano is saying that our leadership is doing an excellent job. Do I think that it's perfect? No, not yet, but we are getting there. So I'm hoping that you found this meeting insightful, that you learned a couple of things about the corporate and management team, and that you can truly see where our hearts are at. It's at furthering Johan's structure, whereas before it was just him. I mean, Clinton was always there. It wasn't really made public. But now he's got a full team around him, and you can see the difference in his demeanor. You can see the difference in the level of how he's functioning as the head of the technical department, because he gets to do what he loves, which is the technical work, the programming, which at the end of it is the heart of what MTR promises people, is we want to grow their Bitcoin. And as long as we're doing that, we're on the right track. So I hope you guys found this informative. I want to thank you all for being here. If you want to jump off the call now, you're more than welcome to do that. However, if you've got any questions, you're more than welcome to pop on over into the chat section, or if you'd rather just unmute yourself and ask the question, you can do that as well. I know a lot of our management team probably can't stay for that, so that's perfectly fine. I'll handle the questions. Any questions that we have, shoot. Let's see if we can answer them. We've got an extra 5 minutes if anyone needs anything specifically answered that we didn't go through today.
Hi, Sherry. Ignatius, how are you?
Fine, and you, Ignatius?
Well, thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for this meeting. Very impressed and thankful for all the hard work from each and every of the speakers that you heard today. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Just one question: wouldn't it be possible to make a to differentiate between, with regards to trading after auditing? MTI is a PTY company, and it's an internal audit according to, like Monica has explained to us. But can't we have the bot trading validated or audited purely from an investor's perspective in terms of validating that? I know that the live trades basically now fills that gap, but it's just a suggestion that would it perhaps be possible or in the future to basically just have an outside or even our internal auditor saying, listen, over a 12-month period, this is what the bot, obviously our statements would confirm that, but just as in sort of validation, you know, from an auditing perspective or platform, that perhaps that could be a helpful, just an idea from my side.
I think that's a wonderful idea. I know that it is something that we've discussed, and I believe that the bot audit is definitely on the priority list. So I believe that once our actual financials for MTI is sorted out, that's probably what Monica and her team will move on to, is getting that bot audited. And that will definitely be something I think that would make a huge difference to us as networkers, you know, the ones that are building the team.
Absolutely.
So I'm making a note of that here to push that further. And Charlie can hear you as well. He's our enforcer. So he's definitely understands that's something that needs to happen, and he'll push for that too. You're absolutely
awesome.
Very if I can jump in there just to give Ignatius a little bit more insight into that. This morning, we finalized the agenda for the board meeting, which will be happening on the 22nd of September. And that is on the priority list to discuss a way forward. But you're very correct in saying that from a PTY Limited point of view, we need to get our house in order there first before we can move on to that audit. I would say we are 95% almost complete from a PTY point of view. And then the next phase will definitely be going on to giving more clarity on audits, etc. of the bots.
Awesome. Thanks, Charles.
Perfect. Any other?
It's Carl. Carl again.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Something I would like to just throw in there to all the leaders. Sherry, would it be possible to open a MTI group position where I can put some of my Bitcoin in, and everybody else who wants to chuck something in there, let that grow, and the profit from that, we as leaders say, I've got somebody that I want to support or a group that I want to support, and we use that profit, so we don't give away funds, we use the profit from MTI, not from me or from it, but from MTI to give to institutions or whatever. I'd love to take some of my MTI, and as a group we'll be really strong to do that. Anyway, how to structure it, I don't know, but that's something I would like to contribute.
Carl, it definitely shows me a little bit of alignment. At the board meeting that we had in August, this was something that is very, very close to Charlie's heart. He specifically has already brought up, we support the Big Cats enclosures. Oh, and then you've got Fora, which Monica is very passionate about. So what has been done at that board meeting is that a social responsibility committee will be started for MTI. And I see a lot of the leaders already doing that individually in their organizations, which is perfectly fine. But the social responsibility for MTI is something that we need to do. So Carl, am I correct in maybe assuming that you would want to be a part of that committee?
I suppose, yeah, no, yes.
Yes.
I'm not a corporate person. I'm a bit all over the show, so
you and I
organizing things, and but I can see there's a structure that will keep me in line.
Yes, but I
So
think
yes,
part of
I'm
that
close to
is-
Stellenbosch. I'd love to.
Doesn't matter.
Get going.
I just need, I think it would be good for us to have a point of contact with leadership that has their finger on the pulse and somebody that's actually building the organization. It's definitely something we were looking for. So you will see more social responsibility growth from MTI. We do a lot of that behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys saw the Double Your Bill initiative that was actually started by Charlie, quite funny enough. And let me tell you that that has done wonders for our brand outside of MTI. So these little things I think are important for us to all stand together and have an actual committee that runs that going on forward. But yes, I've written that down. It's definitely in the process, and I'll be able to give you clarity in the next couple of days on that.
Sherry, from my side, quickly, it's Marinus here.
Hi, Marinus.
I had a conversation with someone that's an MTI. They are an extremely large distributor of electricity in South Africa, and so they've involved in investing, etc., etc. So my whole thought was that we create kind of a, also in terms of just expanding the crypto footprint in South Africa and Africa, is to create a ecosystem within the MTI world where we could, for instance, buy electricity directly from the MTI platform, as we are doing with cars now and that type of thing, So immediately what you do, you introduce thousands of more people to the crypto world, and you're enlarging our trading pool as well, But in the same time, those people are willing and ready to open up their stream of people, but also from MTI side, so they're willing to accept Bitcoin as a payment system, etc., etc. So I think it could be
an internal business directory.
Exactly.
I think that is fantastic. And what do you think about running that maybe from the members portal?
Absolutely. So what I'm trying to say, instead of me meeting with him first, etc., maybe we can bring the right board member from the moment go, so that we don't have to design the process twice. I really think it will expand our footprint massively within a short space of time. And it will keep you on Steinberg from the technical department very busy.
Luckily, the portal is something that we as management can run. So I do think a business directory of MTI members that have services that accept Bitcoin for payment is a fantastic way at further servicing our membership and growing it. I think that is a brilliant idea. I will get that onto the relevant department and I'll have feedback for you. I think that's a great idea.
Thank you, Sherry.
Oh, and Leonard also agrees with you.
Hi, Sherry. Gerald here from Cape Town.
Oh, Gerald, just give me a second quickly. We've got one comment here that says, it would be a good thing if we would know who the leaders are in different countries, because I don't understand Russian or Arabic or Chinese. But if I have someone who lives there, I can send that person to that person for a possible presentation. Yes, guys, presentations are something that I have to apologize for. Our corporate Zoom call structure and our international Zoom call structure is something that I just have not gotten to. It is at the top of my priority list to get that sorted by latest next week, Friday. Forgive me, I will get to it though. Gerald, what's up?
Yes, Gerald here from the leaders team office in Strand area, as we know the new word. Thank you very much, Sherry, and for all the corporate guys that are involved, whatever position you are. We take our hat off. Good leadership, good company, we take it forward. Just something, we are busy looking at running a competition in our team. And you mentioned that we will get those reports somewhere in this month. Is it still in line or not?
Are you talking about the reports on the back office system?
Correct, yeah, that we can see how many Bitcoin is in a members pool, etc.
Okay, I'm going to put that on my list. Charlie, I hope that you can still hear. the back office reporting function that is not operational, I'm getting very tired saying to people, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And I think what Gerald is highlighting here is definitely a frustration with all of our leadership. To manage and effectively grow our teams, we have to have access to those back office reporting functions. Can I maybe request that I leave this with you and that you can help us with getting that reporting function up and running like yesterday?
No, definitely. Sorry. Just to give you guys insight into the programming that's going into the back office currently, at Johan's priority list right at the top at the moment is the FICA, implementation of the FICA process. So I could be speaking out of term, but we need to find out from legal if there will be any legal implications with us in incorporating FICA and then also disclosing someone's account balance. That's something that we might need clarity on. So it is something that I do see the value in adding that function, but regarding the FICA process, there might be some implications, but I am speaking out of term and it is something that we still need to pursue and need more clarity on. But yeah, I'll definitely add it to the list, Cherie, and we are well aware of it.
Okay, fantastic. Because we did have the reporting function before, and then it was sort of removed, so to be updated. So maybe we can just look. I'm sure that if we do Bitcoin balances, it should be fine, but we can work around it. You have it there from the horse's mouth, Gerald. Charlie will be dealing with that. All right. Do we have any other questions? Are we good?
Yeah, sure. This is Van Ming Xiong from California in the US.
I'm not going to.
I do have a
name.
Yes. I have a members in Thailand, and I working on getting a broker to buy Bitcoins, and I struggling to advise because I don't speak the language either. So I wonder whether we have any members that who are very successful, that who actually, you know, in Thailand, so I could get some advice or somehow for my members that who really want to, you know, want to grow memberships and also want to buy Bitcoins from Thailand.
All right, so I think what we'll have to do is follow that on to, that's obviously, as you'll see from this outline, that's Vince Ward's department. So if we don't have that, then we can work with Vince to develop that for you. So I'm going to make a note here, a connection in Thailand. And what we'll do is we'll grow this organically as and when the need arises for representation in a certain country, that Vince can help us to develop that representation. It's obviously going to be a very big job. But as Vince, are you still on the call? I think he's not on the call. I'm making a note here. I'll connect you with Vince, and then we can take it from there to see if we can help you with the structure in there. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Fantastic, not a problem. Any other questions?
Hi, Sherry. It's Luciano from Sweden.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. Good. I asked a question last time about some kind of insurance. Do you know something about that?
Okay, so insurance, we're working on our company insurance at the moment. So Keyman insurance for Johan has been sorted out and for Quinton. And in terms of insuring our Bitcoin, that is still an ongoing process. It is difficult because the value of Bitcoin fluctuates so much, and we need to find a reputable company that will actually insure our Bitcoin. I know that there are talks underway with a company in the UK to have that finalized. So I'm going to follow up on that for you. I know that the process has started. I know that the internal insurance has been completed. Oh, yes, something that's still. I'm making a note here. Insurance feedback, Luciano. Got it.
Thanks.
All right. Anything else? All right. I think then that's us for the meeting today. Luciano, I just wanted to commend you. I think you've done a phenomenal job at communication with your team leaders. I think out of all of our leaders, you're the one leader that's really taken the bull by the horns And you've done an
Thanks.
exceptional job. I really just want to commend you. From a communications point of view, you've made my life so easy, and your communications has been incredible. So I look forward to your Q&A with Johan next month.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to see how that's going to pan out and how that's going to grow. And then just while I have you all here, I just wanted to congratulate Gerald Lassen and Liz Lassen on the incredible work that they've been doing in their teams, how they've managed themselves as leaders. They're going through a massive transition process with that office, and it's hard work. And we've had to put structures and corporate structures in place. And Gerald has been absolutely amazing at just connecting with leadership and being aligned with management. And you've done an exceptional job. And it's why you were featured as our leader in our newsletter this month. We really appreciate everything you do. All right. I think that's us for today then, you guys.
Thanks, Sherry. We appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And I'm sorry that I missed your black tie event. I would have been there. I would have loved to have come. So I'll definitely have to schedule a trip down to Cape Town soon.
We'll make sure we'll send you the invite for the next one.
Fantastic. Liz, although your hair is so divine, I'm going to have to make a plan. I'm still in my movie here. All right, you guys. That's us then for today. I want to just end this off by saying that when we put things out into the media, when we say we are MTI, we have a process, we are dedicated, we're not saying that because it sounds cool. I wanted you to connect with department heads today, for you to know that we are working our butts off. We are dedicated to giving our leaders everything we need. And I think before, a lot of these functions were being handled by leaders, and that's not fair. Your job is to build your team, to support your team. And because those have been handled by management, I think it's freed us as leaders up a little bit to deal with our teams more effectively and to open those lines of communications. I want to just remind you all that you are our generals. We are all Johan's generals. We are his voice. So think twice before you say something. Be steadfast in your response. And know where you are headed. You have a clear vision of what MTI is busy with and what we are doing, and grow into that leader position. You don't have to ask permission to ask somebody to take down a Facebook page. You don't have to send me negative articles about MTI. I've seen them. We know where we're going. That's background noise. So I'm excited about the future. I'm honored to be working with all of you. I hope you've all expanded your groups to include your leaders. And if there's anything else, you know that Clinton and I are available. We are here to serve. That's our job. So we're very excited about the future. Thank you for the feedback and for the questions you've asked. I will get feedback onto the groups for everybody. If there's anything else you need, to give me a shout. Until then, I think it's about us just growing this team, and I cannot wait for that 200,000 member mark. That's what I'm excited about. So I hope you guys have an awesome day and an awesome evening. Thank you so much for being here. And the recording for this call will be private, but I will send it to individual leaders that couldn't make the call. I hope you're all best. Thank you so very much. This call is done.